Hi, I'm Evie. I'm an instructor here at Southern Twist Yarns, and today I'm going to show you the technique for making the tassels for your drop scarf. They're cute little tiny tassels. See that right there? Isn't that cute? And you're going to put them all the way across the bottom of your scarf, and you're going to make them in different colors. And here's a couple more that I did. So that's what we're going to learn today. So when you're starting to make your tassels, you probably want to go ahead and make them first before you actually start knitting your scarf, so you know you have enough yarn for your tassels. Then you can use all the yarn for the rest of your scarf. So go ahead and cut for each tassel. Cut you a piece about 6 or 8 inches, whatever that is, and go ahead, this is a little trick, go ahead and thread it on a darning needle and set it aside. Now we're going to take our yarn, and I used a serving fork. If you have a serving fork that's straight, it would be a little better, but I didn't happen to have one that was totally straight. But to make your tines, because these are just little mini tassels we're going to put on our scarf. So you put it at the end, and you're going to make about 10 wraps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now, because we were smart and we already put our darning needle through that little piece of yarn, we're going to go in between the tines on the fork and pull it through. Take your darning needle off. And what I'm going to do next, oops, that's coming loose. I should have had my yarn on this side of me, is I'm going to tie a really tight knot. Pull that tight, and you're going to do that again. I usually wrap it twice just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I think it's called a fisherman's knot or something, I'm not sure. There you go. And there we have the beginning of our little tassels. You're going to pull on it. And what we're going to do next is cut a length off and pull it down, and take the other end. Let me show you this cool trick I figured out. Go ahead and thread your darning needle onto the skein of yarn. We are trying to conserve our yarn as much as possible here because we want to use as much as possible. So let's go ahead and pre-thread our darning needle and pull it to the back so it's out of the way. Now what we're going to do, pull this down, put the tail from the ball down in our hand so it's facing the end of our tassels with all the other threads. Kind of make like a pea size right up here at the top, and we're going to wrap our yarn about 6 times tightly around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's our little needle because we were so smart. Now snip it. Now that you've already got your pre-threaded yarn here, you don't have to let go of anything. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down underneath my little tassel tie there. Make sure I'm not pulling, oh, let me move my fork out of the way. And do that maybe 2 or 3 times just to kind of snug it all in, because you don't want your tassel to let go. And I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm just going to go straight down this time. Those are the 2 I'm going to use to tie my project to my scarf, and all these down here now are the ones that need to be trimmed. So don't trim your long ones first. First come in and cut these. Now hang on tight as you cut your tassels. And now you can take the longer ones and cut those off. You don't have to be precise right now. What I would do is wait until you've got all your tassels done, and then you can kind of even them up a little bit more. The next step is to attach, I would then continue, make all your tassels. Then you can take, so now we've finished making our tassels. And if you happen to use this yarn, you might want to actually get it a little bit wet and let it dry. It'll take some of the little kinkies out so it's not quite as crazy. I've already done that on this little tassel that I did. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our darning needle and get one of the ends in. We're going to pull it through, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to hide the tail of my yarn from my cast on edge. I'm going to hide it in my tassel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here, and I'm going to go through a couple threads here at the edge of my project. Don't go through just one. You want to go through at least two. Pull it through. And now we're going to just tie a loose knot. The knot itself needs to be tight, but you don't want it snug up next to your knitting. You actually want there to be a little bit of dangly space there. I might do that one more time because you don't want it to come off. Oops, as I'm dropping stuff. One more little half knot. So what I'm going to do next is hide all these ends. I'm going to hide my tail and these two ends that I use to tie my tassel to the end of my project. Come here. You probably are going to want to use a smaller needle like this one. Bigger ones are a little bit harder to, apparently I'm having a little issue with this little guy myself. Here we go. There we go. And actually go down through the middle of your tassel. And pull it through. Hang on to your tassel as you pull it through. There we go. And I'm also going to take that tail now, obviously I do not need this long of a tail, so I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this off since I do not need it. That was the tail from our very beginning, and I'm going to also take it right down through the middle of my tassel. Pull it till it comes all the way through. Let go. It's all springy. And I'll do that with this last one as well. And then once they're all down through there, I'll just trim them off right there, and you won't even see any of the ends. And you just keep going. Add the rest of your tassels.